Hi friends! All right, so I'm working on this like heart piece. Here is my inspiration. I'm working on, maybe I should put this here. So I'm working on this for my 18th century gown. And yeah, basically I'm doing Tambour Embroidery. Today I'm doing tambour from the top. So if you've watched my Glinda videos, you have seen me do it the opposite way, which is from the bottom. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. It's pretty chill. I've got some pretty piano music playing. We're just gonna vibe if that's cool. If you have questions, I'll definitely answer them. I do have my stuff handy, so um, I can like see the chat. I can read it okay. But yeah. So, oh wait, you know what? I think if I do that, just gonna do this. Okay. Sweet. I think the last time I was able to pop the chat out and make it bigger. Good morning. Or afternoon. Or nighttime? Is it nighttime for anyone? Possibly. Okay. There we go. Sweet. Yay. All right, so I have my tool. I'm just gonna put this kind of here-ish and we'll go from there. Hello, hello, good evening. Hello, how are you? Oh my gosh, hey Amanda. Hey, cool, hey. So I have basically like this dagger going through the heart. I'm saving the dagger for last because I have an idea that I need to troubleshoot before I do it, so I don't want to do it live. I don't like troubleshooting things live. It's awkward. So what I'm doing right now is I have this like vein that goes through here that I'm doing with these seed beads. And then once I finish that, this entire heart part will be filled with these sequins. So we'll do a little bit of beads and then a lot of sequins. But this is going to be from the top versus from the bottom, which is what a lot of you have seen me do. From the top is a lot slower for me, so if it feels like I'm not getting very far very fast, it's because I'm like 50%, like I'm like half as fast at the top as I am from the bottom, but that's fine. We're not here to like speed through this. So yeah, how is everyone? Happy Thursday. I ate lunch outside with my dog. It's really nice here right now. It gets pretty humid in the summer, so I can't like I don't spend a lot of time outside during the summer. So I'm kind of spending like a ton of time outside right now with Eva until it gets humid. I say a ton. It's like 12 minutes a day. My like I don't like the heat, so I am outside long enough to like feel like I feel good again, and then like I go back inside. And I am stitching right onto the silk taffeta, which is a little bit more like a bit trickier than silk organza. Uh, the two major differences between doing this on silk taffeta and silk organza is the weave on taffeta is a lot tighter. So sometimes it takes a little bit of force. And then also it's not opaque or it's not see-through. Like I can't see what my hands are doing. I'm pretty okay with that though. Like that doesn't like I don't really need to see what my hand is doing anymore. I just need to be able to see where my beads are, and that's about it. I've done some work on canvas. Canvas is probably the hardest because canvas is really tough. Like it's just a really tough fabric. Um, and I don't like working on canvas, but I kind of actually really like working on taffeta. I think it's just like really smooth, but it does take a little bit more force. And I'm applying 3 beads at a time. Some of these I did 1 bead at a time, and some of them I did 2. But for this one in particular, I'm doing 3 because I want them to be like a nice little string. But like up here, I did 1 because I did want them a little bit more spread out. So like here too, I wanted that space, and then this is all just 3 at a time. This one's really hard to see, but that's okay. And I'm actually gonna do a 4th on this one. So a big reason actually why, for those of you that know about my embroidery kits, like why I did a heart and a moth. I've actually been dreaming up this dress for a few months now, probably since like November-ish, and which is like about when I found out I was going to be going to New Orleans for the sewing expo. And I was torn between doing a dress that had like a heart on the stomacher or a dress that had a moth on the stomacher. So for the kits, the embroidery kits that I've been selling, I did both as a kit to kind of get an idea of spatially what it looks like. So in reality, the kits were really just practice. That's the truth. The kits were just practice for what I wanted to do for this. I am going to still do a gown with the moth. I really want to do an 1890s jacket with the moth on the back of it, but yeah, that's kind of the secret behind those designs. It's not a cosplay, or well, like that's a tricky question because like technically cosplay is just like costume play. It's my own design, like it's not a character or anything. It's just a gothic 18th century gown. So I have the jacket, like the dress is going to be a black silk taffeta, and then the stomacher and the underskirt are this like deep red silk taffeta, and then I have like a gray wig that I'm going to use. So it's just a little bit more gothic version of an 18th century gown, but it's not like any character or anything. I had every intention of like making a sketch. It's just like even when I sketch things, I don't feel like they look like what they do in my brain. So I've lately just been skipping the sketching step and just going for it. So yeah, that's just the only reason why I didn't like do a full on like rendering or anything, because it never really looks like what I see in my head anyway. So, but yeah, it's just because I'm doing I'll be like doing classes and judging a contest in New Orleans, and so I'm staying an extra couple days, and I'm actually staying at like a dream location. I got us 2 nights at this like haunted 18th century, or no, it's 1830s. This is like 1830s home, and so I'm really excited. And I was like, well, now I need to make a dress to wear at this like haunted house that we're going to be staying at for a few days. So that's kind of where the origin of this came from. All right, so now this is kind of the end of where I want this to go. I drew these squigglies thinking I would do some kind of thread work on top, and I still totally can do some thread work, but I think what I'm going to do is lay down the sequins, and I'll probably just start right here and then work my way around, and I can always reference my image for where I would want the thread work to lay at a different point. And thread work is basically just doing tambour embroidery with thread, like embroidery thread. The reason I would want to do that last is because I would actually want it to lay on top of the sequins. So I'm going to lay sequins. I do watch The Closet Historian. Yeah, I actually I love I think the cicada gown is how I found her, but she just did a moth brooch, and the colors and like the type of moth she chose. Like I actually took notes when I watched it because I would like to make a tambour embroidery for myself on a gown someday of like that design with those kinds of colors. It just had these beautiful turquoise and like blues. I don't know. It was beautiful, and I was like, I like saved the video so that I could go back to it later and look in because she links where she buys a lot of her stuff. So I was like, okay, I can source some of these materials, but it's beautiful. If you don't know who I'm talking about, the Closet Historian is another like historic. Well, she does both vintage fashion and historical costuming on her page, and she does a lot of like drafting her own patterns and helping people draft their own patterns, which I think is pretty unique and special. But her entire aesthetic is just really cool. I really like her lookbooks. They're like freaking phenomenal. But she's definitely a YouTuber I recommend a lot. I also like, I know this isn't everyone's style, but I really like um, YouTubers or like sewing YouTubers or costumers that talk a lot. Like I don't know, it's just like I like Lady Rebecca Fashions and costuming drama as well. Like I also like the visual ones as well, but like I don't know, it's just it feels like you're sewing with a friend. So I'm going to be using cupped sequins for this part of the design. Cupped sequins are a little bit trickier to handle because they are cupped. You can get your hook cut on like caught on it. So like if you're new to tambour embroidery, I recommend starting with flat sequins and then working your way to cupped. Just they're just more difficult. So like once you get your patience in check, you'll be fine to work with anything. But like for me, it took me so long to become more patient with this process. And so I try to recommend at least like do easier materials at first and work your way up to more difficult, frustrating ones just because you might hate what you're doing and like that sucks. I don't want anyone to hate what they're doing. So yeah, that is. And I'm going to be putting these down, these cups on like a bowl. So basically the height of so like they'll shape like this versus like a hill like that, if that makes sense. I could do it the opposite way and it would have a different effect, but I'm actually going to have them overlap a little bit. And I've just found that it'll look a little bit better if I put them down with the cups down. And I'm like watching my monitor to make sure because sometimes my head like I'll bring my and then the whole entire video will just be my head, so I'm like watching my monitor to make sure I don't do that to y'all. It's not the worst thing in the world if I do, but so obviously there are tons and tons of ways that you can add sequins and beads and things with your tambour hook. I'm specifically for this part of the design doing it in a like go around the entire design and then fill it in. I call it a spiral. It's not exactly a spiral, but it is still organized chaos. Um, a lot of people really like doing more chaotic designs because visually the way it looks. And I have a couple projects in mind for something like that with a little bit more chaotic placement of sequins and beads. But for this, I kind of knew exactly like what I wanted to do. Like before I even really started laying out the Oh, hey, look, there's a loose sequin. This is not the same sequin I'm using, so I have to make sure to not. Hey, Heather, how are you? I'm doing pretty okay. It's been kind of a long week. It feels like Friday. Does anyone else like feel like it's Friday? I guess over in the UK it's Thursday night, so you're at least like close to Friday. Friday versus Monday doesn't normally matter for me, but I take Saturdays off now, or I try to. And so, like, Friday means that, like, Saturday I'm gonna sleep in. Although this Saturday we're going to the Renaissance Festival and I'm not sleeping in. Like, I'm waking up at 7 a.m. because we want to get there at rope drop. I say rope drop as if it's Disney. It's not Disney. All right, so I did not do a great job at drawing the line that goes right here for the dagger. So I'm gonna use this like these sequins to kind of draw that line so that I have like an outline and I have an idea of what I'm gonna be filling in. So for those interested, this will not ever become a kit. Okay, I'm never gonna say never. This is likely with like the dagger through it, likely won't be a kit anytime soon, but I do have a heart as a kit. And I also have like a moth, a skull, and a tropical bee as kits. I'm not developing new kits until November, so like the four I have are kind of it for now. But the heart was kind of practice for this. Like I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a heart or a moth, and the shape of the moth doesn't exactly fit for the shape of a stomacher. So, but like I said, I have a really cool idea of how to do a moth on a like an 1890s jacket. And I would likely, if I do that one, the one that I'm thinking of, I would likely do it as like an applique piece versus straight onto the fabric because I'll probably use some kind of brocade or something a bit heavier for the fabric. And I haven't tried tambour on brocade. I would imagine, depending on like what kind of brocade it is, it could be very difficult. So I will probably pass on even doing that because I don't want to make my life more difficult than it already is. Okay. I was really bummed out. So when I was like starting this and I was transferring all the markings, I was like, really, really hopeful that I could use my light box and draw it with a like a heat disappearing pen, but the fabric was too dark and I couldn't see the design. So I had to use like wax transfer type paper, which means all of the white markings are a bit difficult to get off because it's taffeta, it's silk, and I don't really want to get it wet. So my goal is to cover every white line that you can see in order to like not have it show up in the final piece. So yeah, it's a little annoying, but like I did this to myself. Gosh, I had to do this directly on to my, you know, silk taffeta. I couldn't just do it on white organza. Nay, nay. Both ways are valid. Just throwing it out there. Hey Jaden, hello, lurking today. Hey hey Regan. Oh my gosh, hello friend, hello. Have a good time lurking. We're just making a heart here. Our Renaissance Festival is I think $25 or $30 a person, but they do every year a like buy one get one free sale for in February, I think, like 20 days in February or something like that. So if you can buy one on that day or in that time frame, and they will like basically your ticket counts as two. So it was $25, $30, I think, for both of us. Oh, and it's also limited weekends. So I think it was only for the April weekends, which is they opened last weekend. Yeah. And then like most of the things like I'm trying to think. Most of the things we like to do, well, no, we like to do a lot of the like axe throwing and that stuff, and that is all kind of you have to pay for it, like on top of it as well. I think though it's a location by location difference because I want to say growing up in area, well, that was also a different time. Like that was like 20, 30 years ago. Because I want to say growing up in Arizona, we could go to the local grocery store and get tickets for like $12. But like if you bought them on site, it was like double or something like that. I remember that being like a huge thing, like growing up, is like being able to get them at a discount at the grocery store. But I don't know if they do that anymore. At least not for the Georgia. I haven't seen it for the Georgia one. I did look into the annual passes because ours has annual passes. And I think I did the math and you would have to be able to go like 7 of the weeks, and like that's just not me. I'm not that person. I like going to Ren fairs. I can't do 7 weeks of them. I would be bored. 90% of the reason I go to Ren Fair is honestly to see my friends too. So, oh, it's only 2 days once per year. Then that price makes a lot of sense. Because I guess like it seems as though it's like a convention. Not like the same as a convention, but it sounds like it's the exclusivity a factor of it. It's about 30 a person each day. Ooh, I don't think I know a lot about the Oregon one. That sounds fun. I've been told that the Maryland one, Renaissance Festival is like one of the best. So that is like a thing I'd like to do one year, is like make a trip to the Maryland Ren Fair. But oh, the Georgia one is $10. Oh, I think I got the Groupon a few years ago, and I didn't even think to look this year. I was still okay with $25 for 2 of us. Like, that doesn't bother me. The amount we pay for conventions, I'm like, 25 bucks, like, that's fine. I mean, we just got, what is it, like, pass holders or like season holders for the Atlanta Broadway. So like we get to see all 8 shows, and those were like $500 a person. So $25 for 2 of us sounds great. I'm like, that's easy. That's an easy date. So like I did, what show did I just do? C2E2. And normally like after I do a show, I just put all my cash into my bank account because I don't have a lot of use for cash that much anymore. But this time I was like, oh, this is a good round number. This is our budget for the Ren Fair. So like I put it in an envelope and I'm like, Toby, this is our budget. Like this is like, it's a good amount like to have a fun day. But now we don't have to deal with the ATM because every year we get there, and I see it in my brain now. That's where I ran into Siberia and Ashley and Kristen last year, is right in front of the ATM, because the first stop that we had to do when we got to the fair was go to the ATM because we had no cash. So this year, I was smart. No ATM stop this time. They don't let I think our fair has like a pet day. Like there's a day specifically for the pets. Um, but I also got an email saying something about like how to bring your dog to the Ren Fair or something. So I'll have to, I've been meaning to read that, but I don't think it's a good idea. Eva, she thinks humans exist for her. A big, like, she literally thinks that like every single human is on this planet to give her pets, and if they don't, she whines. It's like this horrible sound. When like it, she doesn't do it that much anymore when people stay at my house. But like if we're out in public and she isn't getting pets, she just whimpers, and it's so pathetic sounding. But it's funny. I don't know. She takes after me. So, because we've talked a lot about like, could we get like her approved to be my therapy dog, and then I can take her to conventions, but it is unlikely that it'll happen because she is very hype. Like she just literally thinks humans exist on this planet because she is because of her. Thank you. It's gonna clog arteries. Oh my gosh, we're gonna. I love this pun so much. It's so decadent. Hey, Sarah. Y'all should check out Sarah Spaceman's new video. It is so good. I know I say that about all of her videos, but I just feel like every single time there's some kind of surprise or different thing, and it's just freaking awesome. It's so rewarding. Plus, the gown is beautiful. Like, watch it for the dress, if anything. That's just like how I'm going to advertise all of my things now. Watch it for the dress, man. I'm just realizing that these particular sequins I'm using are the same ones I used on my 18th century writing habit when when people got mad that I was adding sequins to a writing habit. And I was like, yo, bro, I'm gonna add sequins to everything. Don't come for me. And here I am. Now it's an 18th century stomacher, and I'm adding sequins to it. It's fine. This is fine. I learned no lessons. You know what? This shape kind of reminds me of a strawberry. Do you like, here's the stem and this is the strawberry heart. I only see strawberries when I'm around Sarah. I'm like, "Oh, yep, seen strawberries again." And this, my friends, is why we always buy extra sequins and extra beads, because you'll sometimes have a project down the line where you need those leftovers, and like that's just where we're at with life. Oop. Knew that was coming. Yeah. I thought like, well, I'm also in your boat of like, I know Sakizo or Sakizo is draws from history but isn't historical. So like when I watched your first video about the like breakdown, I was like trying to kind of be a little ahead of the curve and guess like, oh, because of the Bertha, this is like 1850s, and because of the sleeve, like these are like 1830s. And like I was trying to be like guessy on like what decades certain pieces are like inspired by. So I get 100% that struggle, and I just try to explain to people when it's the right person, right? Like some people, they'll never listen, but sometimes people are honestly like, what era is this? And I have to, about like my amethyst, I have to like break the news. Like, I'm so sorry. It's actually not historical. This is the artwork. And so I share the artwork with them. But I feel like those are the type of people that it's always worth commenting back on, because they're not like there to like put you down or anything. They just don't know and they want to be educated. And well, I don't know. I like helping people. I like teaching. I don't do this. I don't put myself through the the multiple groups of people that hate what we do. Like, I don't put myself through that to like make everyone happy. I just really want people that want to do this to be educated and to have the tools. I think adding sequins to everything is a great idea. Sequins, rhinestones, beads, any way I can make things more complicated than they absolutely have to be is like, yeah. Mixed up and thought she had made an 1850s dress, but I was actually, oh, I love that. That makes me so that's why I told you when you asked me about a Bertha, I was like just take it one step at a time. It's really not like as scary, but like the first one is kind of a little like, how do you work? Like, how do you exist on this garment? Because I've done like 4 Berthas now. Um, I have not tried a pleated Bertha yet. I would really like to, but that is very intimidating to me. Like artistic pleats and like pin tucks are very intimidating to me. I've done some pin tucks, but they're still intimidating. I really need to wear that purple Ariel again. I wore it twice ever, and I think I'm gonna wear it to MomoCon. Because it's a really, I freaking digitized lace for it. And I'm over here like, why don't I wear it more? Like, why? Yeah, I thought that was smart. Yeah, you can just hand sew it on. I mean, I thought it all looked really good. You made really good, you made really good sewing decisions and like fabric and stuff decisions. The crocheted strawberries, like I couldn't visualize it when you were talking about it a while ago. I was like, I believe it, but I just can't see like what those look like. And then I saw them. That was it. Game over. Tiered ball gowns with me. Yeah, are you gonna be, well, what day? Because we can coordinate days. I just am judging on Saturday, so I'm not around. I feel bad. If you want to wear your Saturday, definitely do it. Don't wait for me. But if you're thinking any other day, I can coordinate and I can we can be ball gown buddies. I now that I think about it, so both of our dresses have Berthas, and both of our dresses are tiered ball gowns. so so they're quite similar. Different color schemes and like different like uh embellishments and things, but it's just really funny silhouette wise. They're like similar. Um Yeah, definitely. I'm doing the same with my Emily, my corpse bride. I'm thinking of wearing my corpse bride on Sunday or Friday because obviously I can't Saturday. Um but like it's with like the combination of body paint and then also like the skirt weight is so heavy for the corpse bride that like when I fly, I definitely don't want to fly with it because like it just is heavy. Like so I can't really bring as many books. Um so I'm probably like the corpse bride is probably only going to be local unless I do a show where I don't have a booth. Then I'll likely do the corpse bride again elsewhere, but it's also getting into summer, so like I can't really do body paint as much anymore because I sweat a lot. I'm one of those people. Like I'll just be very honest. Like we shot at the cemetery 2 nights ago, and it actually was beautiful weather. I was still sweating profusely because like I'm just that's the type of person I am. Like I also stress sweat, so like I could be freezing, and if I'm stressed out, I'm going to be sweating. Like it's just that's just my body. I did it last year and it was fine. Like I body painted on Sunday last year and it was fine. But also just remember I don't wear anything costume wise on Saturday because I'm judging from like 10 a.m. until like 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. So like I wear normal clothes the entire day. So it's a lot easier to like get up the gumption to do body paint on Sunday when like you kind of have a whole day of no costume. But also, if Alex and I go in on Wednesday night to set up my table, I thought about doing body paint on Thursday because it's a half day. Just things like that, you know. I don't know. It's a month and some odd days away. I have time. Stomachers and Bertha's to my best friend and Joanne's last night. Oh, yours that. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I really do love making videos that people find helpful and enjoyable and mostly helpful. Oh, the corset mesh. Oh my gosh. I think about that all the time too, Sarah. The corset mesh and like how sheer it looked. Like, because I've used corset, I have white corset mesh, but it is white. It's not like opaque. And like, oh man, yeah, the illusion. Because you guys know I'm all about tricking the eye. I love that stuff. I have to remember not to cuss so much because I don't want to get demonetized. For first world problems. It lives rent free. Like we're all gonna make like illusion corsets in the future, and like that's what our life is gonna be. We're just all gonna do it. I don't have a reason to make one just yet, but like the second I do, I'm gonna be like, yo. Oh yeah, I think anyone's allowed to post links. So if you do have a link to that mesh, definitely link it. So I bought some gold work. I'm gonna try to do some gold work in as the dagger. I guess like technically it would be silver work because it's, or is it? It might be white gold. It doesn't matter. I bought some gold work, bullion specifically. So at like later today when I'm done with the sequin part, I have just the dagger, and I'm gonna try to do something funky with the hilt, and then I'm gonna do gold in this little piece here, and then silver, and then I have really cool blood drop looking beads for like the tip. I know this my design has a pool of blood, but I don't aesthetically like that for like the placement of the stomacher. I don't think it'll look very good. So I'm just gonna have blood droplets instead of like a pool of blood. I'm trying to think, because I watched the finale and I'm trying to think who had one on. I really enjoyed the finale, but I don't like the finales. Like this is a general RuPaul's Drag Race thing, not like a spoilery thing. I don't like the finales where they do like they have like them write a song that they have to perform. I prefer the like lip sync battle style um finales just cuz like there's something really weird to me about like how this song sounds and then like the queen that's lip syncing it, especially when you have a queen like Lux who actually does like sing. um it just was weird for me. I don't know, those aren't my favorite finales. I mean, to this day I still think Sasha Fierce versus oh my god, why can't I think of her name? Shea Coulee is probably still my favorite finale like of all time. That I said Sasha Fierce, but I meant Sasha Velour. I apologize. Sorry, Sasha. Oh, actually, I will say like Sasha's song in the new Sasha Colby, her song in this one, for me, her performance was the absolute best, but I think it's because she she's a really smart entertainer, and I think that something that some of the other queens rely on is, I'm just gonna say it, they rely on their body. And Sasha relies, like, she thinks everything like really, really like well through, to the point where like every little thing has an importance, but she also is so good at a callback. If you don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm so sorry that I'm going on this long tangent. This is a thing I do. I'm like obsessed. It's I don't watch sports. I watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I want to. Oh, I'm getting chills thinking about a rose petal moment. Yes, we all want our rose petal moment. It phrased like a monster. That's good to know. About that's this. That's the sheer stuff. But yeah, I miss the lip sync off days where like there was four of them and then they have to go head to head and then it comes down to two people and then the two people go head to head. Those are my favorite. I also like literally hated the final lip sync song. Like, I know that they've used a lot of songs on the show, but there are some songs that they should just reuse because they're so good. Like they're just stop using crappy songs. This is my note to Rue. Stop using crappy songs. Oh yeah. I think there's something to be said about somebody who can just command a stage. I finally did watch Sasha's Miss Continental. I think it was like a 30-minute video of like her performance and her all of the aspects of it. And that performance. So first of all, the crack neck thing that she did that in that performance from 2012 or whatever, which is brilliant, right? Like it is something that was already in her zeitgeist before she came to Drag Race, and then she made it a moment on Drag Race. Like, I just really think Sasha Colby had a very clear understanding of who she is as a drag queen, and she unapologetically the entire time just leaned into it. And that's like, for me, that's art. Like, that is like pinnacle art. Like, that's what you do as an artist. You figure out what's your DNA and you lean into it, and then you keep building upon the DNA. You don't just do the same thing over and over again. Like, I love Anitra, but like all she had going for her was walk the duck, and like she didn't even do that often near the end. Like, she didn't make that callback, and we all know Rue would have lost it if she made that callback. So like, I don't know, but I'm also not a drag queen, even though right now on Facebook, a lot of people are calling me one, and I haven't decided how I feel about it. I'm like, have I earned that title yet? Have I earned that? I don't think I've done the time. But yeah, I'm a huge, like, I just really think she's a very smart artist. I don't put up with the kind of people that have to put others down in this game to lift themselves up. And that's, I think, also why I really liked both Anitra and Sasha so much, is because they like they played, they played they when the library was open, they read, and they were nice, and they're just decent human beings. I don't know. And like, sometimes you just have to allow a queen to just be delusional. Like, if they're gonna be delusional, just let them. Like, look at Jinx. Jinx is my favorite drag queen of all time. Let me take that back. Let me reframe that. Jinx is my favorite of RuPaul's Drag Race drag queens of all time. Literally realizing my best friend does drag for a living. I'm like, wait. Yeah, the drama this season was really, like, just, it really was off-putting for me. That's when Toby stops watching. He's like, the more drama there is, the less he wants to watch the show. Which sucks, because it isn't always like a drama TV, like, it isn't always that bad. Some seasons are just worse than others. I am just gonna say it, y'all. I think I need to tighten this, because this tension is starting to, it's just really difficult to work with. There we go. I was saying at the beginning of the stream that silk taffeta is a little bit more difficult to do this through than silk organza, but also cupped sequins like to snag on your hook. So basically, I just decided between the cupped sequins and the silk taffeta that I wanted to make myself work extra hard. We're going to just say that. I don't like people picking on people either. Like, it stresses me out so much, and like, I guess I don't and I don't know. Obviously, I'm not backstage at drag shows in Texas, right? Like, I don't know what the culture is like, but the second two people gang up on one person, that's it, game over for me. It is no longer funny. It is no longer a personality trait. It is bullying, and that was like half of this season, was two people ganging up on one person, whether it was Lux or whether it was Marsha. It just really, or not Lux, Lucy, or Marsha. It just was really like off-putting for me. Oh my gosh, Gabby, I can't remember if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, but we're talking about RuPaul. You watched was 7 with Willem. Oh my God. Oh, Willem. So the day that we set up for the original sewing expo in Atlanta, Sarah, I picked Sarah up and we drove together. Because we're electric car buddies, but also it's just like carpooling is so much better for the environment. Anyway, so we were talking about Willem in the car, and it was just so fun. I don't know, like it was just really fun how naturally Drag Race just came up, and we just were like having so much fun just talking about it. Again, I watch it like it's a sport. The drama back then was so bad. So bad. Like, it doesn't get too bad. Like, there's always, I don't watch Untucked anymore because, again, the drama just like, it's just too much for me. Like, yeah, it's just like not my favorite part. I understand they have to make their ratings and stuff. But yeah, those were like a different time of Drag Race too. Oh yeah, I think I have two friends, but none of them that are like local. Although I saw both of them in Chicago, so I got to talk Drag Race in Chicago, which was really nice. And it was when Final Four were like official, so that was kind of nice. And actually, my best friend Matt, who goes by Malort, like that's his drag name, like he was the one that got me into Drag Race way back in college, like 2010, 11, 11. I think that was when the first season that I watched in real time was season 5. Season 5. And then but I watched, before that happened, I watched the other 4 seasons. Fun little side note, Fifi O'Hara completely like rebranded and now goes by Jeremy, which is like that's their branding, and they have a bunch of they do a lot of stuff on Twitch. They were actually the announcer at C2E2, and I got to chit chat backstage, and it was great. I didn't mention Fifi O'Hara ever or share needles, but I definitely like got to see a different side, like a non TV side of them, and that was pretty cool. If that means anything. Yeah, you like to watch them all dolled up, Gabby. Yeah, that's my favorite. Oh my, we went to Lips for our anniversary last year. It was really fun. We also we saw a drag show at Stonewall, which was so good. Really raunchy. NYC girls are like really raunchy. I know not all drag is like that. But it was fun. I loved it. 10 out of 10. I think I like ended up following 2 of the queens afterwards because it was such a good show. But yeah. They do still film them. They do still film the 2. Well, this year they only had 2, not 2 finalists, but like 2 that went head to head, and they did leak Anitra's, and I thought it was good. I think the music makes the huge difference. Like the actual like sound effects and music that they add in post is what makes it go from like this is a good speech to like I'm ugly crying. Yeah, Lips was pretty family friendly. Family friendly, 18 and up friendly. Like like parents could go with their children, not children, they're like teenagers and not feel uncomfortable. But like the show I saw in New York, like Toby almost got uncomfortable. It was really funny. It's note to self, like if you ever take your partner to a drag show and they're uncomfortable, it's kind of funny to watch. The only thing I didn't like about the drag show in New York was that there was a drink minimum, like a number of drinks each person had to have 2 drinks, and we didn't know that, and we had ordered 2 drinks downstairs, so we each had to order 2 drinks upstairs too. Um, and I think I ended up buying a water bottle and that counted. But like for me, I feel now, like hindsight, like being sober, I feel like having to order drinks is really like not appropriate. But also like I wish I would have known just in general, because we wouldn't have had 2 drinks downstairs if like we hadn't known. Oh yeah, like they have to sign NDAs and stuff. And I guess like I think Sasha was doing an interview where she said her drag daughter was on the year before, and she didn't even know that her drag daughter was on RuPaul's Drag Race. So I would agree with you on that one, Sarah. It felt like Manila versus Raja, and like I was so torn on that one as well. But ultimately, like I loved Raja. Like, and seeing Raja on the newest season really made my heart so happy. Raja was my first favorite. The first 2 seasons, I didn't really have any queens that I connected with. Raja was like the first drag queen on RuPaul's Drag Race where I was like, whoa, like I feel like I understand this artistic human being. I don't know, that matters to me. Oh, wow. Drink minimums are like normal. I'm trying to think of we went to Jekyll and Hyde, and there was no drink minimum. That was pretty cool. I think the other place that we drank at, like we went to drink, was a brewery, and there wasn't. But now I'm trying to think if there anywhere else. We didn't actually. Yeah, we didn't really go to any clubs when we were in New York the last time. Again, besides. Oh, nope, that's not true. There was an Irish pub we went to. There was no drink minimum, but our we went from 2 people to like 5 people, and so because like Toby's coworkers and stuff showed up. It's a whole thing. Also, we're those weird people that like we're not the best at telling people we're gonna be in a town. So we are like literally we were with New York, at least last year, we were literally like getting off the plane and I was like messaging our friends being like, I'm in New York. Do you have time to hang out on this day or this day? I had my first liquid death at this brewery, this like this metal brewery. Is literally like they played like metal on records, and like everything was like death and like gothic themed. Um, brewery that we went to a week or two ago, and they had Liquid Death, and Toby was like real shady about me ordering it because he's like, it's just canned water. And I'm like, so is like LaCroix and like all these other things, right? Because they're all just like seltzer waters. But Liquid Death is actually really cool. uh the can is very cool looking, but the the words, like they have like a 3 paragraph statement about like their company, on the side of the can. I'm not gonna spoil too much for you, but if anyone is at Dragon Con and they're drinking, and obviously I'll be sober, if you're drinking at Dragon Con this year and you need a good laugh, if I have a liquid death in my hand, I will read you the can with a dramatic reading, and that is all I will say about that. I really like liquid death. Again, as the sober person, typically the only sober person in the group, unless Alex is around, um, having a drink in my hand helps me not feel so weird, and liquid death filled that void. The mango chainsaw. Okay. Oh yeah, but the canned water, it like actually tasted good too. That was the one thing because I made Toby try it just to be like, because like if he's gonna throw shade at me, I'm throwing shade right back. Like there is no getting out of this. And I made him try it, and he's like, "Oh, that's actually really good." And I was like, "I know, right? Like it's really good." And I'd probably be that person who had like one liquid death and then just like I used to do in the old Dragon Con days when I drank, just go to the bathroom and fill up my can with water, and everyone still thinks I'm drinking, and it's like, "No, I'm just drinking water." But also I have to pour water on Toby to get him to stop being a crazy person. First season watching, and Raja and Manila were absolutely our faves. Manila is one of Toby's top fave queens of all time. I think he has a type though. I don't really have like a queen type. I'd like to say artsy, but I want to say like that's like 75% of the drag queens on RuPaul's Drag Race are artsy in some kind of way. But like Benda La Creme and Manila are some of his like favorite queens. Oh, okay. I gotta look at the grocery store and see if I can just buy like a 4-pack or a 6-pack so that I can, like I said, have my stash for Dragon Con. I'll probably have them for MomoCon too, so I can be a little social at night. I've been trying to get better at being social at conventions. Um, it's just like a little hard for me. I'm working on it. I think I did pretty good at C2. I made a couple new friends. I got to talk to like old friends, like more than like a 30-second conversation walking past each other in the hall. That's great. Gabby, we'll get you out to see Tweety one of these days. I think what I liked about their sparkling water is it didn't feel so this is not sponsored, but if somebody from Liquid Death is watching, give a girl a call. Anyway, I liked that. I don't know if it's just the like the pH level that is that the word? Is it pH? Yeah, the level that they carbonate at. It's not as high, I think, as other carbonated waters or sparkling waters, and so like I don't feel it in my nose. Um, that's all. Like there's a time and a place for that feeling. It's called drinking Sprite. Like when I drink Sprite, I expect to feel my nose tingle, but when I drink sparkling water, I don't really want my nose to tingle. It's the best way I can describe it, friends. Wow, this section is a lot bigger than I thought it was, but that's fine. This is fine. It could be worse. I could have chosen to do beads in this section, and then not only would have it taken me like 500 years, it would probably have been really heavy. Because that's something I also have to think about is like if you add too many beads in one area, the piece just becomes very heavy. Um, which can cause problems. Problems can be had. Gosh, these keep bouncing. I'll be really honest, the first few months were really hard. Like, MomoCon last year was my first convention sober, and I was only sober at that point because my sobriety birth date is May 13th. And I was terrified. Like, I think I didn't sleep like well for a couple nights before MomoCon because being social is such a big part of um, conventions, and drinking is a part of that social system. And it was so scary. Dragon Con was so scary. I was not ready to even like tell people I was sober because I was also embarrassed. Like, it took a lot of therapy for me to get to a point where like sobriety is a choice and it's something that I'm doing for me and it's not a punishment. And it was a very hard thing to overcome. Once I overcame it, like once I like got over the idea that sobriety is a punishment or sobriety is something that happens when you have done something wrong, once I got over all of that bullshit, excuse me, bull doggy, I don't know, the BS. I don't know. I just started like it just started coming natural. And then I started finding more people who are sober, and also telling my friends like helped. Mm, they it helped them check on me. Like, it helped them know is like is Casey stressed out? Like how did you feel about this thing, this encounter? Or like Alex did something really helpful one night. We were doing dinner at C2E2 last year, which was in August. It was my birthday actually, and they ordered a pitcher of sangria. Sangria is one of my absolute favorite like beverages. I do now have non-alcoholic wine, so I'm gonna be making like non-alcoholic sangria this year. Oh yeah. But Alex was like, "Oh, we don't need glasses for sangria," and like it was like a no-brainer. Like, she just stepped in and said like the two of us don't need these. So like it helped me not even have to like say or act any different, which was really helpful. I think that when I finally told my friends, it just started getting better and better. Yeah, we did really well at TwitchCon. We went to a what was it? It was like an outdoor, like by the pool bar with some friends, and they were all drinking. And Gabby and I got virgin daiquiris, and it was like really helpful to like have a friend that isn't drinking with you. Oh, we got mocktails at that one place. I will say like being vocal about it has been the exact opposite of what I thought it would be, and so now I feel so good talking about it because I'm like I get to now find, like, everywhere I go at every event, I can find that person that is either going to, like, know that I'm sober and, like, squash any awkwardness. They don't necessarily have to be sober too. They are just there to be like, Casey, do you want a Coke? Or Casey, do you want some coffee? Things like that. I'm glad I appreciate you telling me that, because I'm glad I finally, like, do you come out as sober? Like, I don't know how you say these things, but like, yeah, like I'm finally glad I started talking about it and started sharing it, because it isn't a punishment. It isn't something that I should be ashamed of. It is something, it is who I am. It is part of the person that I am. And I am finally like owning it and feeling comfortable in my own skin as a sober human being. With that being said, I love a good mocktail. The fancier looking, the better. Like, I don't care if it's just Sprite with like a lime and like 5 cherries in a cute little glass. Like, I don't care. Does it look cute and fancy and frilly? Cool. I'm happy. It is, I still, the date night is still very scary, because like, again, like Toby's for like context, we used to brew beer. Toby still brews a little. I used to brew beer. Oh man, I have several award-winning beers, and I still haven't gone to Homebrew Club. Like, they have 2 clubs. They have Brew Day, and then they have Club. Club is where they drink and taste and all that. I haven't done that one. I've done the Brew Day because it's at our local brewery down the street, and they have a non-alcoholic beer now, but also I can just bring hand sewing and just like sit there, and it's not, no one notices I'm not drinking. But I haven't gotten to like that point yet. But like, so like brewery culture is huge in our relationship. So it's been, date nights have been a little weird still. But we're working through it one date at a time. Woo. You were in, yeah. You punch drunk. I've actually been there. So we some of our friends they were going to the rave. I don't know if they actually ended up making it to the rave, but when I did like a sober test last April, like I think I was sober for 2 weeks at 2 back-to-back conventions I was working at, and my friends were there at that convention too. And that was actually the first time I realized, like, I'm fun when I'm, like, I am just as fun and just as lovable when I'm not drinking. So, like, it kind of helped me not think so much about drinking as a form of, like, being able to be social, which was great. But at KatsuCon, those 2 friends came and hung out with me again in our room and stuff. And we were up to like 1:30, just like shooting the shit and being like punch drunk is a great way to explain it. Like, just slap happy, like cackling. Like, I lost my voice almost because I was laughing so gutturally. And like, I hadn't had like that much sober fun in a while. I didn't know that like I could have that kind of sober fun. And that was really a nice step in the journey as well. Just, learning new things about ourselves all the time. And C2E2 was another great kind of like test. Like, no one said, that's the nice thing, is no one has ever asked me like why I'm not drinking or if I'm not drinking or anything like that. It's just always been like very, yeah, like pretty chill. Oh yeah, so he can't have alcohols. Oh my God, pink lemonade with a garnish. That sounds like a really good like summery drink. With, oh my gosh, with rosemary, like pink lemonade with like rosemary and like, I don't know, like a lemon or a strawberry. Anyway, here we go. I'm just gonna add fruit to the rim of all of my drinks. Because we all know I like to romanticize everything. Is if you're drinking. I will say last Sunday of Dragon Con was very terrifying because I went out in Gaga at night and I have never ever done Gaga sober. Like it used to, like when I did my oh my god, the Coke cans telephone Gaga, where I'm literally just wearing underwear and a leather jacket. I would have to do like a shot or two before leaving the room just to have the confidence to wear that costume. So to go out in Gaga without any alcohol was really scary. I did it. I survived. It was real terrifying. If you're not drinking, it's coming off at 8 p.m. I mean, I would probably be like out of costume earlier than 8 p.m. That's not true though. A Dragon Con is such a different beast. Like I feel like Dragon Con, at least for me, like it's like all bets are off. Like I have all these like ways that I am at literally every other convention. And then there's Dragon Con where it's like who knows? Like I don't really like raves at most conventions. Like that's not my jam. I definitely go to raves at Dragon Con and like dances and big parties. Yeah. Dragon Con is just like a different beast altogether. It's haunting me. You're cosplaying Homestuck at I don't think I've seen Homestuck cosplay in a very long time. I never like read it or like I don't really know a lot about the fandom. I just remember the early days of like body paint cosplay, not just Homestuck, but I know Homestuck is a biggie. I remember the early days and just seeing paint. Like I remember going into the bathroom. Is there a pink character? I feel like there was a pink character. I just remember a gray character fixing up a pink character's makeup and there just being pink makeup all over the sink. Like a bathroom, like a public bathroom at the convention, not like in my hotel room or anything. Good for those friends, but I can't be one to complain too much though, because like I'm doing these blue ghouls now, y'all. I got my Sally, I got my my Emily, and the insides of those costumes are they're definitely turning blue. Just because, you know, like I said earlier, I sweat a lot. It was full of, yeah. I was living in Chicago in 2013, and I went to a convention called ASIN. And oh my God, I cosplayed Tsubaki from Soul Eater, and I was so proud of my site. I also cosplayed, what is her name? The female blonde chick from Death Note. And Rei Ainami from is that her name from Evangelia? Anyway, I promise I did more than just Disney princesses and historical costuming. I don't share most of that anymore because it's not like I don't know, it's not my zeitgeist anymore, but it's definitely it was a moment for me. Oh, I'll be very honest, paint, like body paint and stuff is way more accessible now. Um, I can't remember. Sarah, do you have a tutorial? I don't think you do. Somebody recently did a body paint tutorial. Um, but body paint isn't that bad anymore. Ben Nye Clown White Base under Mayron. Wait, seriously? I'm gonna try that. I love Clown White. Oh man, I used to use Clown White in theater. We in my high school theater, we had to take a mime like I think it was like a quarter of the semester was like all just on mime, and we did like an entire mime show, and we used Ben Nye Clown White, and I never understood why Harley Quinns had issues with their white makeup because I didn't realize that like cosplay makeup wasn't, this was again 2013. Cosplay and like the makeup, the theater makeup world weren't quite connected yet, right? And oh, hot diggity dang, like I just didn't get it but I didn't know that they didn't know about Clown White. Yeah, somebody asked me to do a makeup tutorial for my oh, Ginny D does have a good tutorial. That I was watching somebody else use Ginny D's tutorial and then I just skipped that video and went to Ginny D's. You're right, Ginny D has a really good one. I was saying something about makeup and I already forgot. Oh, somebody asked me to do a Emily or Corpse Bride makeup video and I was like, I love this idea, but makeup tutorials don't like they makeup anything doesn't do well on any of my social media. So it's a great idea. I can always get them a link of somebody who did it better. I will do that hard work for anybody that needs a tutorial. I will find you a good Corpse Bride tutorial and give it to you, but I will not do one myself. I'm too scared. On the back of their hands. Oh, I don't do body paint on my hands anymore. I do gloves. But what I mean by gloves is We Love Colors sells like yeah, Sarah's already got you, but We Love Colors sells like gloves and tights that match. They have a key somewhere on their website that will like tell you what Mayron product to what We Love Colors color like match, and it's really really helpful. That's how I figured out all of my stuff for Emily and Sally. I also really like to do because I do both of them. I chose to go a blue for the same blue for both characters. I could have gone a little bit different, but yeah. I think you're. Oh, yes. She did do a test for Raven, and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this video because I need to get better at body paint. And then she was like, I'm using Ginny D's tutorial. And I was like, love you, girl. I'm going to go watch Ginny D's tutorial now. Because I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, thank you. Thanks for being in my brain for me. I appreciate it. um, Yeah, it's on their website somewhere. You might have to dig a little bit for it, but it is there. And that's how I do. There's a couple characters from Lore Olympus. I say a couple, either Hera or Persephone, that I would really like to cosplay. And so I used their guide to figure out what makeup to tights I should use because, like that matters. Don't be like me and buy the wrong color gloves or tights or the wrong color makeup and then cry when you realize they don't match, because these things aren't cheap. Like, I will never be the one to do a panel on cosplaying on a budget. I don't know how to do that. It's like physically impossible for me anymore. I'm just not the best at budgeting. But yeah, they have a whole guide, so it'll help you match everything. So you don't do what I did and just think you can eyeball it and then cry when it doesn't match. Oh my God, I have to tell you guys a funny story about crying in body paint that just happened to me at C2E2. So, there's no fault on this at all for anyone. No one knew this was going to happen. So on Thursday of C2E2, um, I came in to set up my booth, and they had tables and like all the drapery, but they didn't have the like drape around the table or the like the cover on the table so that the table looks pretty. It just looked like a wooden table. Um, and so I had like my suitcase of stuff, and I was like all ready to like set up, but I only had an hour because we were going to the museum at 2, and so the table wasn't ready, and it was probably going to be about an hour before they would have anything. So I was like, okay, well, is it safe for me to just leave my suitcase here with all my merch, and like I can come and set up tomorrow in my corpse bride? Like, it'll be a nightmare, but I can do it. I'm like pretty capable human being. So they're like, oh yeah, like no one's supposed to be on the floor, and like you can hide. I hid it behind some stuff, so my suitcase was fine. I get back, I come the next day, which is Friday of the con, and I'm in Emily the corpse bride, so full blue makeup, wig, veil, massive dress, and there's no table. Again, the day before there was a table, there is no table. And like, I was like really stressed out about having to set up an Emily to begin with. Like, it's just stressful having to set up in a cumbersome costume, and there was no table. And I was like, I don't know who to get a hold of to get a table for my booth. So finally we get a hold of someone, but like in that whole process, I got so emotional that I started crying in my blue face paint. I had to like hide behind a wall. It was like, looking back, it's hilarious now. In the moment, I was like a mess. I was falling apart. But I'm crying in Emily, and like I'm looking up the ceiling and like trying to dab my eyes because it's water based, so my tears are going to leave a mark. I'm laughing, like this is so funny to me now. But anyway, I ended up crying. They got me a table. It was fine. And Alex was like, you really should go over there, go over to our friend's booth who has like hair and makeup and all this stuff to help with cosplayers, like a repair kit. And you're like, you should see if they have anything. And I was like, well, it's tears, and I'm the corpse bride, and she's perpetually sad. So we're just gonna keep it and call it a choice. So I just kept the little tear, like the like where it obviously looked like I had cried, and I was like, YOLO, like the show must go on. Um, but it was so embarrassing. I survived. It's fine. Try not to cry in body paint if you can, friends. It's not like the easiest fix in the world. Is because it's oil based. You can cry, just see white, and it makes it easier. Oh, okay. You know, Sarah, I'm gonna I'm gonna call you up and be like, hey, exactly how do I do this? No, so you wait for the oil to dry, and then you can put the water on top, and then do you just like use cold cream to get it all off? Is it cold cream? Is that what that stuff is called? Because you're oh. Okay, at least I'm not the only one that had eyeball leakage. I'm not even gonna call it crying anymore. It's just gonna be eyeball leakage. Although I will say I perpetually, when I put on any kind of body makeup and sometimes even just eyelashes, my nose just runs. I don't know if anyone else has that happen, but like my nose will just start running. I've accepted it. Man, I love Ben Nye products, by the way, y'all. That is a name I have not heard in a hot minute, and my soul is so happy. Like thin layer of the clown white, and then paint the water base on like normal. It's a really high coverage foundation. Yeah, that makes sense. Now I'm gonna try it. Yeah, TwitchCon was stressful. I don't know if I can ever. I'm never doing body paint for TwitchCon again. So like we judged, I think didn't judging go over by like 40 minutes or something? I feel like it like we thought we had more time and like we didn't. Um I don't remember, but with TwitchCon, like it was literally like I had to like warn people in the room that I was gonna kind of like be almost topless because of the where everything hits, I have to like paint to like here. And I was like, listen, y'all, we're all adults in here. If you haven't worked in theater before, you know, then I'm sorry, but in theater, you see a lot of tits. It's just part of the job. But Gabby had to paint me so fast. Like I was working on my face and she was working, but so was, you know what though? Like was it Andy Ray also getting in makeup? So I didn't feel too bad. Somebody else was getting in makeup. But yeah, I'll never do that again. I'll never do body paint when I only have like a small window of time from the contest judging to the actual getting dressed. For C2E2, I was really smart and I brought my clothes with me. And then Amanda met me when judging was over and brought me a peanut butter sandwich. And we sat and we talked about the contest and ate peanut butter sandwich. And I drank water and I got dressed. And then it was time to line up and it was a pretty chill time. Like I was not stressed at all. It was only an hour still, but like I did all my makeup beforehand. I'll never. I'm glad that I did it because TwitchCon has such a large audience because it's streamed on Twitch. Like the actual like video or like the live stream typically gets like 30 to 50,000 views. So like the two times I've judged it, I've been very strategic about what I wear um on stage. Like it's very important for me to have a costume and like stand out, not like be like prove myself or be like in something, you know, massive or anything like that. It's just important for me to like really represent my brand. So for TwitchCon, it like completely makes sense. But like for something like C2E2, um it just wasn't as important, I didn't feel like, because like it just didn't feel like as important. Oh yeah, you're right. They told us we had an hour. Oh, because it wasn't I scarfing food too. No, I didn't even eat at that point. Oh man, that was the night that we got the enchiladas too, and they had chicken in them. basically what I'm telling everyone here is get yourself some good friends who you enjoy being around and ask for help. Yeah, because like for MomoCon last year, I didn't even get into costume. I was just like dressed in aesthetic, although I had like 12 people ask me who I was dressed as. And I was like, I'm me, just wearing clothes. Yeah, and I remember that because Andy was contouring her abs and she was literally like, does this look like I have abs? Does this look like dirt or does this look like I have abs? Like, I remember that, yeah. Oh, good old days. Gabby, did you see? I guess like they announced the schedule for TwitchCon Europe and there isn't a cosplay contest on the roster. I haven't like done any digging since I heard that, but I guess there might not be oh, we did have candy. Who gave us candy? Like I never recommend bribing the judges. Like don't do that. But like candy. I had one year I judged TwitchCon. The first year I did it, somebody actually was like, they're friends of ours now, but like they were judging, and they run WCS, World Cosplay Summit, and they brought us like Red Bull and water bottles, I think. And they were like, these are not bribes. We just run this other show and we know what it's like to be a judge. So we wanted to make sure that you had something. And luckily, TwitchCon really takes care of us. So it wasn't like we needed it. But I remember later that day, we were in deliberation or something, and like all three or all four of us judges were like, oh, yeah, we have that energy drink, and we just all popped open our energy drinks at the same time, and it was like it actually helped our day. But don't try to bribe judges. It doesn't work. Although also the next day after C22, the Spanish contestant, I think it's like Alison or something like that. She came to our booths and she brought us candy from Spain, and that was really sweet. And like a little card with her, it was like a holographic trading card with her costume and her like Instagram on it. I'm actually probably gonna frame mine because it matches my aesthetic, and it's like beautiful. Like the print is like probably the size of this heart. It's like a really good size print that she brought us. And I don't know. I really like having beautiful people in beautiful gowns on my wall. So here we are. I was like, well, this might be a new piece of art on my wall. How I want to be is something I didn't think I'd need to learn how to do, but goodness. Oh, yeah. I recommend to anybody to bring a couple outfits. This is like always on my packing list. Bring a few outfits that you feel the most you in, so that if you are not feeling like being in cosplay, or you wore cosplay for 3 or 4 hours and now you want to change, you can still dress like you, like your core wonderful human self. And like it's a con. So like no one's gonna judge you because like it's freaking a con. Like the cool con goers, they get it. Oh, did Chad and Sammy bring us? Oh, they did bring candy. You're right. Because it was close to Halloween. And that's also why I wanted to be in Sally, is because it was peak Halloween. I'm picking it up now. I'm remembering. I'm remembering like my life decisions that ended up being like not the best idea, but you know, on the other side of it, I thought I was brilliant. So I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about how judgy I am, because I'm not really judgy in real life, unless it's drag queens, or unless somebody was like, "Can you give me honest feedback because I want to compete?" Then I will, give critical. Anyway, so I was talking about how like if TwitchCon asks me back again, I doubt they will because like I guess Chad is the only one that's ever judged it more than twice. But if they did, I think I would want to cosplay either Judge Judy or Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just to be like poke fun at the idea that I'm a judge. Like it sounds really stupid, but I think it would be absolutely hilarious. And I would have a gavel just to like completely commit to the act. I mean, I could just go full on like meta and do Bianca Del Rio as Judge Judy. But I don't know about that one. Yeah, they're really good beans. I loved getting to both year. Oh yeah, both TwitchCons I got to see Severo. Lucky me. Lots of dog time. Yeah. Yeah, that's so if TwitchCon ever asks me back, that's what I'll do. I think I'm gonna do Bianca as Judge Judy. Just because I think it's so meta and out there. But the people who get it will get it. The people who get it will get it. I think I snagged my thread. I might have to do a do-over here soon. What time is it? You know what I think I'm gonna rewatch like this week or next week? The All Stars, All Winners RuPaul's Drag Race. Like talk about wholesome like TV, like non-dramatic, non like playful competitive, but not like cutthroat competitive. That is good TV there. There we go. I had my thread snagged. Those two sequins don't look great, but that's okay. No one's gonna get that close. Yeah, like just it was really great. Yeah. Sarah, are you thinking of going to see the Jinx Monsoon Everything's at Stake tour? I'm not sure if that's like a thing you do, if you go see drag queens live or anything. Yeah, it's coming to Atlanta. It's like in July. It's like a more of like a one woman show, musical comedy extravaganza. It's not like a like it's not like going to like a drag show. It's more like Katya and Trixie's like whole sit down thing. Oh, that makes sense. It theater is like the I think like theater and fabric shopping are like the things I leave the house for, and running. Although I'm going to the Renaissance Festival this weekend, so I guess I'm leaving the house for that too. Oh my gosh, that'll be so cute. Oh, that'll be so cute. I will you send me pictures? Oh, I took some photos. I need to remember to send these to you, Gabby. I took some photos. So like the sewing expo in Atlanta, the one that like I'm doing a couple of their shows with, they had some heirloom garments on display, which was like the first time I've seen them display heirloom garments, and I took some pictures just because I thought of you and I forgot to send them to you. I hope they're still on my phone. They're probably on my hard drive now, but you know. There was also a really cool quilting. I'm gonna take more video and footage of it at at New Orleans, but there was this really cool quilt exhibit called The Voting Line, and it was quilts that were like in the shapes of people, and like it was like just like different types of people that you would see in line to vote for like anything, like it could be local election or the presidential election, but like it was really cool. I really liked that exhibit. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think it's in July, Sarah. It's really, I mean, I don't know, it sounds cool. I we went to two drag shows last summer that were at, I think it's called Fantasy, and I realized that that's like not really my scene, and that's not really like how I want to consume drag media. So, when I saw that Jinx was going on tour, I was like this kind of show, that's kind of how I was like, oh, I totally want to do that. Oh yeah, I forgot that you were there too. I keep forgetting. This makes me so excited because like I love seeing the quilts at the quilt show. It's really inspirational for me to see these different techniques that quilters are using and think about how we can use them as cosplay. And so, like, the first quilt show I ever went to, like, I was the only cosplayer, and that's fine. But it's so nice that, like, now the conversations about the pieces we're seeing are like wider. Like, there's more people that we can talk to about them, and that makes my heart happy. Gabby was literally the only person I could talk to about quilting stuff, and our friend Tony, for like years, because like it just like there wasn't a lot of people, because obviously we weren't doing this huge push to get cosplay even like recognized at sewing expos. And now that we finally are, we as cosplayers also get to share the artistry of quilting and like enjoy what we get to see. Um, I don't know. That's just my brain. I also like, to me, quilting is another form of art, and I'm a freaking art junkie. I love going to art shows, things like that. Oh, was it good? Did you see it with what's her face? Like the actress that all of the debacle was about? The political, there was a few, so there, this one exhibit, the voting line, was so cool because it was just really different. But there was another one that I took a picture of that was part of a series of people making self like quilts as self portraits, and it was about their journey of coming out, and that one was so beautiful. I think I cried almost. Again, I view like quilting, at least that kind of quilting, the kind of quilting we see at sewing expos, as like an extension of like an art museum or like art. um, I'm such like I'm a weirdo. Yeah, like there's a lot we can learn from quilters, but I also think there's a lot they can learn from us. I'm just gonna keep pushing to build that bridge because it has to be built from both ends. Like it can't just be one side trying to get over to the other. Like it really does. It takes a team. Something that I'm trying to do as well, because I'm working with So Magical Expo as well, and they want to get more than just like sewing. They want to get like foam and like painting and that kind of stuff. We're trying to like figure out what kind of vendors would cosplayers want. So if you ever think of anything like where you're like obviously Famori Cutlery is a great example. Like they will be successful at both sewing and cosplay spaces. But then there's like for example, at the Quilt Expo, all of the fabric was cotton and like as cosplayers that's not really a material that like we don't use high-end cotton for a lot of stuff. It's just not a necessity for us. Like regular, just like white or like, broadcloth cotton is good enough because we're using it for linings or flat lining or whatever. So I've been trying to like start thinking about um, types of, I guess, like vendors or people that sell products that would be great for cosplay, that cosplayers would be excited about. They do need an artist alley. Yeah, that is something I've been thinking about too. It just, again, like trying to make these sewing industry events a safe space for cosplayers. One, that's my number one. I want cosplayers to be able to go to these things and not feel like outcasts or tokens. But also, like if cosplayers are going, what value can we add, right? Can we, like, obviously Sarah and I added value by judging the contest, having those like little talks that we had at the spot. The future brainchild of this is, teaching actual hands-on classes. But also what else? Like how can we, because like we are the future, like cosplay is the future of sewing, right? Like we all know this, like we're the future of sewing. So how can we add value? Like what are things that we need that we can't always get access to, right? I guess Vogue Fabrics doesn't travel anymore, which sucks. But like they used to be a big vendor of the Sewing Expo, and they would have so many different fashion fabrics. Not even, I mean, I like to think that like if something is used in fashion, we're more likely to use it than quilting cotton. Like that's just that, right? Like we are more likely to use a satin that somebody's going to sew into a dress for a wedding than a quilter cotton. It's not always the case, but that's just how it is. Already go to cons. Give cosplayers and younger people less expensive items to shop. Yeah, that was the other thing. I'm also trying to think of like things that I can do to kind of help and be like, maybe I can make a mini guide every like expo. Like these are things that I think like, hey cosplayers, Atlanta Sewing Expo's coming back. These are some products that I know they're going to be selling that can be used in these ways for cosplay. Things like that. Cuz again, just want to provide as much value to our community, but also like make the expo like see that like there are things that we need, they just aren't providing them, right? Like we're not going to a sewing expo to buy a $10,000 sewing machine. Sorry, not sorry. But like, I don't know, some of us might be looking to buy $2,000 machines, you know? Oh, you didn't see it with Leah Michelle. Ooh, that's great that the understudy was good. Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with you. Like sewing will die without our generation, and I think that like I said, I really believe that cosplayers are the future, because even if cosplayers who are like about to retire, say like cosplayers who have been doing it for a long time that don't really like cosplay anymore, but they might still like sewing, maybe they will do garment construction, or maybe they, like there's just like as cosplayers, we have built an infrastructure that allows us to go so many different ways with the techniques and the craft that we have created. There are so many variables on businesses and things that we can do that like is going to benefit this industry for a very long time. Yeah, so some of the people can be closed-minded. I try to really like, even though I've had weird experiences, I try to really focus on the people that are actually being kind and open, because the closed-minded people are just always going to be closed-minded, but the open-minded people can really help make or break the experience for all of us. I've also heard some people come or go into sewing things like with an armor on, not like an actual cosplay armor, but like an emotional armor where they feel like they have something to prove. I've never felt like I've ever had anything to prove. I've just always gone in there and been like, what can I learn from you and what can you learn from me? How can we make this mutually beneficial? And I've had a pretty good time at all of them. I'm still doing them, so you know. Oh yeah, so Autumn, I'm not saying that like there's no use for quilting cotton. There is plenty of use for quilting cotton. I'm saying at these expos, the kind of quilting cotton that people are selling are typically printed quilting cotton that is a little bit more expensive, when most of us cosplayers that are going to use quilting cotton are likely going to go to Joanne Fabrics and buy something a little bit more affordable, because the print and getting this like rarity print type idea isn't as important to us as maybe just having something within our budget that also looks good with the other material. And that's kind of where I'm going with the quilting cotton idea. I use cotton a lot personally, but again, I use white, black, blue, whatever color matches my costume. I don't purchase 7 different cuts of a Halloween print so that I can make a Halloween quilt. That's kind of what I mean. A guided tour, like work with the vendors to have all the cosplayers go through the booths at once. That's a cool idea. I was thinking of like maybe a guided tour on my Instagram. Like, so you know how like we went in a day early and they weren't done setting up, but say we had gone like 5 hours later and they were almost done setting up. Like I could film it on that day and actually like ask like, hey, like can you show me these products? Like a bias tape making tool, or like really good embroidery stabilizers, or like really good stabilizers for working with silk or things like that, right? That like I'm like, oh hey, these are things that cosplayers could use, and then like make a really fast reel or do a highlight on my Instagram and be like, anyone coming to the expo, these are some places to check out to shop so that you can get the best materials while you're here and not have to order online or etc. That's something that I thought about doing. Talk to Saga. I was so scared. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that you did that, Regan. That's awesome. Yeah, Mark is really passionate about cosplay and the cosplayers. what the machines could do. I got a not top secret, but like I ran into the Bernina dealer in the elevator on Saturday morning, and she's like, "Do you want a demo of the machine now?" And I was like, "Yes, I would love that," because I wanted to demo one of the machines. Um, on Friday, but like they were swamped, and I was like, I knew I wasn't gonna buy like at the expo, so I was like, I'm not really gonna ask for a demo. But we ran into each other in the elevator, and she just like gave me a quick demo once we got to her booth. It was so funny. Yeah, I can talk for others, but not myself. I love that. Dream. I really like my my M7 from Janome. I'll be very honest, before like 20, even like 2019, I didn't really think like I would ever be in a position to have like a nice machine. Like I always thought I was going to be working on like low end to maybe even like low medium end machines. So I'm really obsessed with some of that stuff your FAF does, Sarah. That was really fun to watch in your recent video. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, so like you quilted this stuff. That's a really cool like way of like making something and then also like doing it uniquely yours. I'm curious what everyone else's like dream sewing machine would be. I would never use it, but it kind of would be like a cool flex to have a long arm machine. I never need one. There's no purpose of me ever getting one. But like, dang, those machines, they're huge. Like some of the long arms at the Quill Expo are like the backside of my room. Ooh, a Bernina 1008. And basically has a built-in walking foot. That's so dope. Oh, wow. Fab is a really, really good like machine, like from the get-go. Like you know how some brand I'll just be honest. Um I think it's Singer who like in like the 70s or something, their machines were really junky for a while and then they like got better again. But there are some sewing machine companies that just had like that have had weird eras. But I've never heard that about Faf. Oh, I want to try a Juki. Again, I'll never need one. So Magical Expo, they have like you can rent, not like pay for, but like you have to sign up for, I think, previous hand, like sessions with a Juki. They also have Jukis that you can play with on the floor. And I was telling Kayla, who owns So Magical, I was like, my only goal for So Magical Expo is to sit and just stitch a little bit on a Juki. I just want to do it. Because, like, for me, it's terrifying because of the speed. I just want to do it. I just want to try. You missed the Jukies at college, yeah. You know what? Okay, I almost bought a treadle machine from the 19 or 1890s at an antique shop pretty close to me. It was actually last MomoCon when Alex and I were antiquing, and it was like 120 bucks, but it didn't have the belt. And like there's certain parts on these old sewing machines that are like impossible. Like it would be way more money to buy that one part than it would be to like buy the machine. So I contacted Brent from Famore. I was like, okay, so there's this treadle machine. Was it the belt? I think it was the belt. Now I don't remember. But basically, he was like, these are the list of things that like if it does not have, you do not want to buy it. And it was missing one of those, and so we left it. We left it there. But I still think about that treadle machine often. I was this close, but it wouldn't have been realistic. And we also were like, how are we going to get this into Alex's car? Although she did have the big boy, it still, I think, was bigger than that. I've still never touched a Juki, hence why I'm afraid of them, but not like realistically afraid, like unrealistically afraid. A serger you can consistently make work. I really need to get my Janome serger serviced so bad. You know what, guys? It's just the money. I'm just so cheap. And I don't use it that much anymore, which means I definitely need to get it serviced because, like, it also needs the knife changed, and I tried changing it, but the placement of the screw and like how tight the screw is on the knife, it was like physically impossible for me to even get a little screwdriver in there to get it out. So I'm kind of like, I think when I do get it serviced, I'm gonna say like, hey, can I pay extra to get the knife replaced? I don't know if that's something they do, but that would be great. Otherwise, I'm never going to replace the knife, and that's going to be bad news bears for me. They look fun. You know what I didn't see at the expo this year that they had last year? They had people weaving fabric last year. How cool is that? I want to weave fabric. I mean, like, I don't want to weave my own fabric, but I want to, like, do it on a machine just to say I did it. Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah. I started with a basic AF brother machine. It was like $80 on Amazon. I didn't even know you were supposed to change the needle. It was, I mean, like, I think the first time I changed my needle on my brother machine was when I started my Rococo Bell, which was in 2015, and November of 2015 to be exact. And I bought my brother in, I think, July of 2013, and I never changed the needle in all of those years. Do not ask me if my stitching was good. I'm going to say no. It's really funny to me, the things that I think, I like on my own end, like my own costuming, like what I think is good these days and what I think is bad. Like, I'm so persnickety on my own sewing these days, but like Casey 8 years ago would have just been like, yeah, it looks great. It's on my body. It's not falling off. Isn't that the goal? Singer Scholastic. Oh, that's really cool. I really like Gabby's stories of Fashion Week and going to school and for fiber arts. So I bought after I think with like my first big prize money, I bought a Singer. Was it a stylist or was it a fashion? I don't know. It was like a Singer. It was like a $400 Singer sewing machine that had all these extra decorative stitches, and I burned the motor out on it within a month. I was devastated. Maybe not a month. It might have been one of those things where it sat in its box for 6 months and then I sewed on it for a month. But either way, I burnt the motor out on it and it started smoking. And I was too afraid to buy an expensive machine after that. Again, $400 was like is still a lot of money, but a $400 sewing machine was really expensive for sewing machines for me at that point. Uh, so whatever, who cares? Now I'm hearing about these $30,000 long arm machines, and that makes me sweat. Even $10,000 sewing machines, like that makes me sweat. But man, I thought I was going to be such a supreme sewist on that Singer stylist. I think it was the stylist. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it had to have been. I must have had a defective one though, to be real, y'all, cuz like or I just was really that bad at sewing. Yeah, like I'm starting to learn that a lot of my really bad habits from the early days are common. Like I no longer beat myself up about the bad sewing that I did. I think it's hilarious. Renting machines. Now, hot diggity damn, that's awesome. There's a couple sewing company, like sewing dealers, sewing machine dealers out here in Georgia, that seem kind of interested in doing like cosplay classes. So I'm kind of interested to see what that would look like. Obviously, I'm down to do it. Like, I'm down to teach in person classes. I don't know what that would look like. Like, is it a straight up how to sew class? Is it a project based class? Is it like, what's it going to look like? Who knows? But that'd be pretty cool. And I'm in contact with a brewery who offers event spaces that would be interested in hosting a Tambour Embroidery class, which I think would be really fun. I mean, I just think it'd be really cool to get to teach outside of a convention, because I know conventions are so busy for people. Well, melted on my home machines. Would have never bought myself a machine like the Fath. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I feel like that could be a cool class. I still dream of doing a corsetry retreat, like a destination location type like retreat where you can um like a group of people can go and build a corset over 2 days and then like a third day of just doing content creation or something. Hi, Whimsical Muse. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, you can. That's kind of cool. I still need to check out Gotham Quilts in New York the next time I'm out there. All right. It is almost 3:30. I was only going to stream till 3. So I think I'm going to wrap up conversations and I think I'm going to call it, y'all. Yeah, I think a retreat would be really fun. I'm not I said destination place, but let's be honest, it would just be a really cool looking hotel or something. A bookbinding retreat with classes. I'm definitely in contact with people that would be able to put together the retreat and stuff. It's just about like logistics. I don't even know what it would look like at this point, but I'm y'all know like I'm a dreamer. I think I'm calling it for the day. I've been doing, well, like for the streaming part of the day, I've been doing it for about 2.5 hours. And I have quite a bit more to do. I have to fill all of this in, and then I have the whole dagger to make. I was hoping to finish this today. I don't think I'm going to finish it today, but I think I can get this filled in, and I can test out what I want to do on the hilt of the dagger or what I want to do on the actual metal parts. I don't know yet. But I think I'm going to end for the day so that I can go get some more water and just go to town. I need to find some videos to watch. That's the hardest part of like doing something like this is like finding like 5 hours worth of videos to watch. Oh yes, if you like this video or if you like my stream, please like and subscribe. I will have a new video out by end of day Monday on the Renaissance Festival costume I made with Renaissance footage. So look forward to that. And then at the beginning of May, I'm doing this whole costume video will go up. I'm in New Orleans the first weekend of May. So like the Thursday or Friday after that, I will have a video up on the entire process of making this gown. This live stream was really just so that I could check in and hang out and break up my days because this is day 3 of working on this embroidery design. I don't really think I should count yesterday, if I'm going to be honest, because I had meetings for most of the day that I didn't plan, but like then things happen. But yeah, so hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you all in, like you'll see a new video on Monday. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. It's fun. It makes my day go by better. This is my last side project before it's just Glinda petals. And my goal is to only do Glinda petals and edit videos for May, June, and July. So that should put me in a place to be done with Glinda by DragonCon. Um, Trey the Explainer. Okay, okay. Trey the Explainer. All right. Okay, friends, so I will see you on the flip side. Also, I'll be posting some like work in progress and stuff on my Instagram stories. That's really the easiest place to see like more up to date stuff. Okay, now I really am done, and thank you all seriously so much. And I forgot my mouse is on this side of my body, which does not make any sense, but here we are.